Hey everyone, I am trying this thing out on my computer where I'm recording this video on Zoom so that you can see me, hear me clearly. Hopefully this will work. I wanted to jump in today. Our theme for the month is Rock Your Routines. And I'm going to, throughout the month, be sharing with you all, a series of articles and tips and things from other sources on how to establish a routine if you don't already have one. But I also want to share with you guys how I personally kind of learned to, establish my own routine. And I got to tell you, so before I established a set morning routine for me, I was getting up close to 7 a.m. in the morning. And like most of us, I was immediately checking my phone once the alarm went off and social scrolling, which oftentimes resulted in me seeing some sort of breaking negative news, which set my day in a negative way. And then I got showered and I would get my breakfast and coffee, and then I would go straight to my computer to start work. And it automatically put my day in a sense of go, go, go. I'm doing the essential things that I have to do to get ready by 8:30. And it just didn't, I didn't start my day in a positive way. And I don't know if you can relate, or how many of you are currently doing this, but when I shifted and decided to basically establish a really good morning routine that allowed me to take time for me, putting my oxygen mask on first before I started my workday, it literally changed my life. I mean, it's part of what changed my life and my lifestyle when I started doing this. Was actually the beginning of 2020. So not long ago, guys. So I want to talk about kind of the step-by-step way that might help you with establishing a really good morning routine. So the first step in any good morning routine is to recognize that you might need to get up earlier in the morning than you currently do. To be honest, successful people get up early. It's a fact. CEOs of companies, they get up early. And you have to kind of get used to being a morning person if you are not already. And I'm going to raise my hand and tell you, I am not a natural morning person. I've always been somebody who's a little bit later, more of a night owl. Prior to me, again, having this morning routine, I was basically, up until 11, close to 11 o'clock at night. So clearly, I couldn't really get up that much earlier because I wouldn't get my 7 or 8 hours of sleep that I needed because I was going to bed so late. But I kind of shifted my mind because I was thinking, well, what am I accomplishing that late at night, right? Between that 9 to 11 p.m. hour, most of us are either social scrolling or watching TV, binging something. So we're not really being productive in that time. So why not shift the time to go to bed to a 9 or 9:30, and then you have so much time in the morning available to you. You can wake up at 5 or 5:30 and still get 8 hours of sleep, which again is essential to your health and wellness. So once I realized that I need to shift when I go to bed and when I get up in the morning, then I realized I've got all this extra time prior to my workday at 8:30 that I can really, be productive and start the day off in a positive way. So second, I would say in terms of establishing your morning routine, research morning routine lists. There are so many morning routine lists of ideas on the internet. You can do Google. I got mine mainly from Pinterest. And then I kind of just determined, what would I like to add to mine? What are the main things that I feel like in the time frame I have that I can prioritize? So I would suggest in general, probably start small. So think about maybe 2 or 3 things that you might want to add to that morning routine to get you started in the day. Things like exercise, meditation, reading a book, personal development, drinking 8 to 10 ounces of water when you first wake up, all of those sorts of things. figure out which are the ones that are most important to you and would start small. Now, unless you are somebody that wants to go all in, for me, to be honest with you, I kind of did the all in thing. I literally just said, okay, I'm going to do like these 5 or 6 things all at one time before my day starts. But that may be a lot for you to take on at one time. So sometimes you have to gradually maybe add one thing at a time and see how it goes, see if you need to address, and then you can add something else in. I also would say, thirdly, make a mock schedule of your ideal routine. So once you figure out what are those 2 or 3 things you want to add in, then start at, whenever you wake up, probably 5:30 or 6, no later than 6 if you work early in the morning, and then start looking at what you have to do. I mean, the 2 or 3 things that you're trying to add, but we all know we have other things that we've got to get done in the mornings, like getting dressed, having breakfast. If you have kids, getting your kids ready to go to school. So trying to figure out, what are the must-dos, but then also add in those extra things that are for you. So put that in kind of a schedule. Think, like, hey, if you're saying read a chapter of personal development, block in like a 15 to 20-minute window for that. Or if you're doing a meditation, you would block in your 10-minute window for that. And then number 4, trial and error it out. So once you kind of have a general schedule figured out, then do it, right? Set the alarm, be intentional about getting up, and then try it out. Now, it may not work the first time. There might be times when you realize, oh my gosh, this thing took longer than I thought. I'm running late to start work. You don't want to be rushed. I think the important thing too about this is don't overcommit. Don't add too many things to that routine to the point where you are rushing yourself, because the point of this is about kind of making sure that you are de-stressing in the morning, that you have an intentional positive mindset, so that when you start your day, that you are able to give your most to either your job or your kids or whomever, but like you don't want to add too much, like I said, to the point where you're stressing out to get all those things in. So trial and error it out, eliminate something if you need to eliminate it for now, see what works best. So those are kind of the main steps of getting in a routine. And you're also going to find that early on, it may seem a lot for you, or, it may seem like this habit of, let's say you're adding exercise in, might be difficult to start to keep going. But I definitely encourage you to try making these things consistent in your morning and start. And I guarantee you, after about a month of doing it consistently, it will start to be a habit. It'll start to be something that you don't want to eliminate from your routine. One of those, for example, for me, honestly, was meditation. I had never done any real meditation before. I got a free trial of the Calm app, and I just started it, and I was sort of like, it was weird at first for me because I never really done it before. And it took some time. I did a how to meditate series, and I think it was 30 days. And it kind of walked me through, the process. And it was after that time, I realized, I was like, I don't think I could eliminate this for my morning now, because it just set me in such a positive way for my day, and such a great mindset, that I was like, no, I can't even take this out. Like, I refuse to take it out. So hopefully you'll get to that point where you will get that way with the things that you add to your routine. So then next week, what I'm hoping to do is share with you guys to really go into more about my personal routine. Like I mentioned, everyone is different. Everyone has different schedules, but just kind of giving you guys a little bit more sense of how I ended up with my personal morning routine. All right, well, I hope that was helpful for you. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to leave them in the comments, and we'll talk next week.